Let's make this clear. Influence is not optional. It's not a nice to have skill. It's not just for politicians, celebrities, or salesmen. It's something you, as a man, must build. Because without it, you're powerless. If you can't influence people, you'll spend your life reacting, chasing, and begging for outcomes you should be leading. Influence is how you get respect. It's how you lead your family. It's how you dominate in your career, your relationships, and your environment. Influence is leverage. And if you're serious about developing that kind of leverage, the kind that makes people listen when you speak, follow when you move, and change when you lead, then my private coaching program is built for you. I'll help you forge influence from the inside out. No gimmicks, no tricks. Real masculine authority. Click the first link in the description and step into the next level of your power. Now let's break down the 5 fundamentals of influence and why it's a skill every man must master. Point 1. Influence starts with how you see yourself. Here's the truth. No one is going to see you as influential until you do. Influence starts internally. You can't project confidence, conviction, or leadership if you're full of self-doubt. People mirror what you believe about yourself. So if you see yourself as weak, uncertain, or second rate, that's exactly how they'll treat you. Men get this backwards. They think once people respect me, then I'll be confident. No, you must become that man first. You must live, think, and act with standards, even before anyone else notices. That internal certainty is what shows up in your posture, your tone, and your decision making. Influence isn't about making a lot of noise, it's about projecting certainty. That means you need to get clear on who you are and what you stand for. What are your non negotiables? What's your mission? What do you tolerate? And what do you never allow? Weak men have no clarity. That's why no one listens to them. But when you know who you are and walk that out daily, people naturally follow. That foundation of influence is built in the dark when no one is looking, through discipline, through self respect, and through alignment. Influence doesn't come from asking to be heard, it comes from living in a way that makes people stop and listen without you needing to shout. But if you want more influence, don't start with your words. Start with your identity, because how you see yourself is exactly how the world will see you. Point 2. Influence comes from control, not chaos. A man who can't control himself will never lead others. Influence begins with self-mastery. If your emotions run the show, if you're quick to anger, quick to pain, quick to fold, no one will ever trust your leadership. People don't follow the loudest man in the room. They follow the one who's calm when things go wrong. The reason most men struggle to influence others is because they're unpredictable. One day they're locked in, the next they're an emotional wreck. You can't inspire confidence in others if you first can't inspire it in yourself. Control isn't about being emotionless. It's about being grounded. It's about being reliable. Think about the men you respect. Are they the ones who freak out under pressure, or are composed, steady, and focused when the heat is on? Influence flows to the man who remains calm in chaos. It's not just leadership, it's reassurance. People look to strong men for direction, especially when things are uncertain. You have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and practice control. You have to say no when you want to indulge. You have to slow your breathing when you want to yell. You have to master your body, your reactions, and your mind. That's where influence is forged. A man who lacks control is a liability. A man who has it, he's an anchor. And anchors lead ships through storms, not with words, but with strength. Become that man and your influence will multiply. Influence is earned through value, not volume. Too many men think influence means being louder, more aggressive, more in your face. But here's the truth. The man who talks the most usually influences the least. Real influence comes from value, not volume. You don't win people by dominating conversations. You win them by contributing something they can't ignore. You need to become valuable. That could be strategic thinking, problem solving, resourcefulness, leadership under pressure, or simply being the man who delivers results every single time. People don't follow words, they follow impact. So stop trying to impress and start building value. Ask yourself, when I speak, Do people benefit? Am I offering insight or just noise? When you speak with clarity, when you cut through the fog, when you help people move forward, that's when they start to listen. That's when your influence begins to grow. Here's another key. Stop trying to get people like you. Influence isn't about being liked. It's about being respected. And respect is earned through consistency, excellence, and usefulness. A valuable man gets pulled into higher circles because he makes everything around him better. That's exactly what I help men build inside my private coaching program. Influence doesn't come from hype, it comes from actual value. Inside the program, I'll show you how to build that foundation from the ground up: mindset, strategy, and execution. If you're tired of being overlooked, now's the time to level up. Hit the first link in the description and join the community of real men doing real work. Because the world doesn't need louder men, it needs better men. Be the one people can't ignore. Influence is multiplied by reputation. Influence doesn't stop at one conversation or one room. It grows through your reputation. And reputation is built when your actions match your words over time. It's not about being flashy. It's about being reliable. When your name is mentioned, what do people associate with it? That's the silent force behind every influential man. Your reputation either works for you or against you. It either opens doors or gets them slammed in your face. If people know you as the guy who always follows through, the guy who's composed, who shows up sharp, who holds the line, your influence will extend beyond rooms you've never even stepped into. But if your word is shaky, if you promise more than you deliver, if your name brings doubt instead of confidence, then don't expect to be taken seriously. Influence is built on trust, and trust is built through consistency. And here's the beauty of it. Your reputation can start changing today. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a platform. You just need to show up right every day. Be where you said you'd be. Do what you said you'd do. Hold your standard even when it's inconvenient. That's how men take you seriously, without you ever having to convince them. Influence scales with reputation, so guard it. Be ruthless about your name and what it stands for. Because when people trust your reputation, you don't have to shout. You just have to show up, and influence does the rest. Point 5, influence requires courage, not comfort. Let's be real. It's easier to be quiet. It's easier to blend in, stay agreeable, and let someone else lead. But influence requires courage. You will not build influence by playing it safe. You build it by standing firm when others fold, by speaking truth when it's unpopular, by going first when everyone else waits. Comfort is the killer of influence. The man who's never risked anything never changes the status quo and doesn't lead, which will never let him influence anyone. People follow strength. They follow the man who has the guts to act when it's uncomfortable. That means you will face resistance. You will be misunderstood. You will have moments where standing firm costs you something. Good. That's the toil of influence. That's what separates the average from the great. Courage doesn't mean being reckless. It means being rooted in your mission and moving forward anyway. It means holding your standard even when your voice shakes. It means standing alone even if you have to, because influence often begins in isolation. If you can't lead yourself through discomfort, you'll never lead others through adversity. And make no mistake, leadership isn't built in comfort zones. It's built in tension between what's easy and what's right. So if you want to be a man of influence, stop looking for comfort. Start choosing courage every single day. Influence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through action, through integrity, through value, through courage. And in today's world where weakness is a norm, strong influence isn't just an advantage, it's a responsibility. If you're ready to build real influence, not through empty talk, but through character, structure, and action, join my private coaching program. I'll mentor you directly, challenge you to rise, and push you to develop the traits every influential man must master. You'll stop guessing and start leading. Click the first link in the description and step into the role that you were meant to own. Because the men who build influence build legacies. The rest, they get forgotten.